I feel it needs more. Headshot! Missed! I got him! Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and that was the Massiveburn in action. This thing is huge and ridiculous and massive, as the name would suggest, and I love it. It was inspired by Captain Slug's Caliburn family. There's obviously the rival burn, and this is sort of a massively upgraded version of that. By comparison, this is an early Caliburn, and it looks tiny and punish. The plunger tube has got to be 4 or 5 times the size. It's ridiculous and huge. And it is chambered to fire foam golf balls, which even look like giant rival rounds. It's just hilarious, and as I said, I love it. I love the fact that it's over the shoulder, stock style, bazooka style. I kind of want to see if I can get my hands on more of this material, the barrel material, and extend it out the back so it actually looks like a bazooka, and then possibly use that back area for, I don't know, ammo storage, if nothing else. I think that would be very fitting and quite hilarious. The pump, I think, could also use, the grip could use a little bit more work, either Picatinny rail, so you could use a regular angled grip. This one does work because you can get your thumb and finger up above this area to prime it. The original spring it came with, I don't know what it was. It was a little short, so there was spring rattle, which I don't like. And it was so heavy, you had to prime this thing on the ground. You had to put it on the ground and put all of your weight on that priming handle, and that was unnerving, to say the least. I have replaced it with a K26 nested in a K25, and while it's a heavy prime, it is definitely primable from the shoulder now. You can simply pick it up and prime it. It's beefy. You wouldn't want to do it all day, but it works, and it will still fire these rounds at 100 FPS, which is ridiculous. Absolutely absurd. Finding the ammo was a little bit tricky. I went to Amazon and looked up foam golf balls, and there were lots of different companies selling them, and being the cautious fellow that I am, I chose to order from 6 different brands, because I wasn't sure if they were going to be properly squishy or not, and I'm very glad I did. 2 of the 6 brands were nice, squishy foam, and they'll fire nicely, and I wouldn't feel bad shooting them at my friends. 4 of the brands, and unfortunately the ones that came in bulk, were way too rigid, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to use them for anything. I have an idea what I might be able to use them for, but I definitely wouldn't use them out of this thing, because at 100 FPS those things would hurt. So yeah, it is remarkably accurate. Let's take it to the range and try some accuracy shots rather than plinking around in the arena. There's construction going on in the background. There is nothing I can do about this. Come to grips with it. Let's give it a plink, see if I can hit anything at all with it. I can. All right, let's try another round from that same brand. Now I've got some new ammo, just arrived recently. It's, well, same stuff but a different brand. I just want to see if it works any differently. Doesn't appear to. Seems to fire just as well. Oh, oh, this thing is fun. Let's go for some longer shots. Can I hit the 50? It's gonna take a bit of an arc, probably. Oh, just short. Try it again. Ha-ha! Victory is mine. Oh yeah. It's not the most accurate thing in the world. I never missed at 25. At 50, it took more than a few shots to be able to reach out and get it, but I did eventually hit the 50, and that's fairly impressive for something firing this massive of a round. I also don't have the hop-up tab in it. It is designed to take a hop-up screw or a tab of some kind, but I don't have it. I don't know if I wasn't sent it or if it just wasn't attached, but I haven't bothered and I haven't really felt the need to. It performs right where I would like something like this to perform, so I'm okay with how it's working. I do like that they put Picatinny rail on the one side and on the left side even, so I could put an optic on there if I really wanted to. I do have some concerns about the structural integrity. I would think more screws would be better, but it hasn't fallen apart yet, and I've fired it at least 100 times. So it's well constructed. I like the overall design. I think it's just a fantastic idea. One of the questions that I know I'm going to get asked, because people have already asked it, will it fire Mega XL? No. It's a decidedly larger bore than Mega XL, so you would need to re-barrel it, or somebody could definitely come up with one of these that fired Mega XL. This one is currently single shot, so you open the breech, you load a round in, and then you fire it. Yes, it would not be at all difficult to design it to take a magazine, have it feed from below from a massive tube magazine. You could also just attach a hopper up here that just gravity fed, and it would work. I suspect the reason they didn't is, one, because this thing is inherently ridiculous, and that would make it just absurd. But also, when you had to prime it on the ground, having a magazine sticking out would be something that could get snagged or broken or what have you, and so I think they might have just chosen not to. Or they may have just felt it was easier to make it single load. I ran this in my most recent war during the single shot round, and it was ridiculous and fantastic. I got a lot of hits. I shot out of darts in the face. Felt bad about that at fairly close range. Haven't seen the footage of that yet. He had a GoPro on, and I would like to see the footage of him getting hit, because he couldn't see it in my footage. Yeah, one of the questions also that I know is going to come up, because it's a good question. It's a question that comes up every time a new ammo type comes out, is what is it going to be considered as far as damage? Because in our rules, and many clubs, I don't know if all clubs do this, but we have 3 distinct ammo types. We have small, medium, and large. And small are things like darts, half darts, rival, hyper, ultra, vortex, all your standard smaller ammo types. Medium is pretty much always just mega, because it's what falls into that category. And then large are things like Mega XL is definitely what I would consider large. Demolisher rockets, Titan rockets, stress balls, any really large ammo type. And the difference is what they do to shields, or in our game, anything in your hand, whether it's your blaster, a melee weapon, or a shield. They all have the same rules when it comes to getting struck. They ignore hits from regular darts. A hit from Mega counts as a tag, so if a Mega hits your blaster, it counts as a tag. If a Mega hits your shield, it counts as a tag. If it hits your melee weapon, it counts as a tag. And then large ammo types destroy the item they hit, in addition to being a tag. So if Mega XL or a Demolisher rocket or something hits your shield, not only are you tagged, that item is destroyed for the rest of the game. And so far it's worked out balanced. I'm sure if like one whole team stacked themselves with blaster destroying weapons and just focused on destroying everyone's blasters, that could lead to an interesting situation, and that would just be a matter of, okay, well then the other team needs to learn to counter that, perhaps, or you might change the rules. It's one of those things, you need to play test it in your area and your play style and see, does this work for you, does this not work for you? But that's how we play it, 3 different ammo types. And now, in my opinion, we have 3 ammo types for rival as well. So we've got regular rival balls count as small. I would actually count these golf balls as medium, and then things like the big stress balls as large. And the reason I would put this down under medium rather than large is because of how effective this blaster is. Koosh balls, which are really not that much bigger, they are large enough that they won't fit. They don't work in the Massiveburn. But we've always considered Koosh balls to be shield destroying, and that's because the blasters that fire Koosh and the ammo itself is very, very ineffective. It's very hard to hit anything, even a shield, with Koosh balls. But with these, I can hit a man-sized target at 50 feet. That's anywhere if I can see you in the arena, I can probably hit you with this thing. And that would be very unbalancing for a blaster that destroys weapons or shields. But piercing, I consider it to be fine. So that's my ruling on my field for Massiveburn rounds will count as rival Mega rather than rival Rocket. And again, that's entirely my choice based on how effective I feel this is and how it would balance. You may decide differently at your arena, and that's perfectly fine. So yeah, this thing is fantastic. I will definitely be using it in the future, especially if I'm going up against teams that are using shields. Because while it won't destroy them, it will count as a tag, and it's very, very effective. It would also allow me to, if somebody's, pointing their blaster around the corner, I can shoot their blaster and it would count as a tag. And it's just ridiculously fun to wield because it's huge and ridiculous. So there you have it, the Massiveburn. It was designed by someone named Autumn. I cannot pronounce his last name, and I'm not going to try. He is still, I believe it is still in beta test. He is looking for testers. He sent me mine. I don't recall him ever reaching out to me. It just showed up, which is awesome. He may have reached out to me. They may have reached out to me. I don't know, and I simply forgot. But it's absolutely cool. If you're interested, you might be able to get one from him. I'm sure they will eventually be up for sale once he works out the bugs. Like I said, I'd like to see more secure, more points, because I think these screw directly into the filament, which is never a good idea. I'd rather see sunk screw ports or something along those lines, or bolts that go all the way through. I like bolts a lot. I had some issues with the front. The screws that were supposed to be up here have fallen out, and so the only thing holding this front muzzle on is the threaded thing that's holding this rail on. The barrel is also keeps shifting. It keeps shifting back. There's marker on the barrel right there that looks like you were. I'm supposed to have cut out that in order to make the breech more round. As it is, I like that you actually have to push the ball in, and it's not going to fall back out as easily. So, yeah, I dig it. Good Lord. 96. Just a cool concept. So, yeah. I dig it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of it. I will post the links to the good ammunition, the two sources that I got. They're both on Amazon, and those are the ones that were nice and squishy. I will probably try a few more to see if I can find a cheaper one, but that is also squishy. I will also try to find a use for the ones that weren't squishy. I have an idea. We'll see how well it works, but I'll let you guys know in the future. So there it is. I've blathered, I've run about, I ran amok. This thing is awesome. This is the Massiveburn. Get yourself one. Thank you for watching. Blamity, blamity, blam.